Hi, it's me. And if you know me at all, you know a couple things. One of them being, I love Keith Urban. Happy quarantine, by the way. It's Thursday, I believe. It doesn't really matter when you can't do anything or go outside. I hope you're doing great. Yes, I need a shave. I need a haircut. It's fine. It's all fine. Keith Urban. He released a song a few days ago, last week. I don't know, whenever. And I wanted to play it for you. Not play it for you, because I can't do that. But I wanted to talk about it. I wanted to see if that song is dope or not. And I wanted to do it in a specific way. Another thing you know about me, if you know me very well, or have driven in the car with me, is that I don't like just listening to playlists or, put your entire album on shuffle and just play it and rock out to it, whatever. That's fine. And I enjoy it. When I'm by myself or in my car driving alone and I listen to music, I typically listen to things or the same thing over and over again, like a maniac, because I listen for the production of the song. I don't just look for a catchy hook or something that makes me want to dance, even though those things are fantastic, or lyrics so much, even though that's changing a little bit. I listen for the production, and I think, especially in modern pop music, a lot of the craft of the production of the song passes by people, and people either love the songs, but they don't know why, or they hate the songs, and they don't know why. So with this Keith Urban Polaroid song, I haven't listened to it very much. I heard it a couple times, and I wanted to save it because I wanted to listen to it, and I wanted to share my thought process of it. And I don't want that to sound like I know what I'm talking about, because I don't. But I love music, and I listen to it differently than most people. And so, hey, it's quarantine. There's not much else to do. Why not let you in my mind, listening to a song? So that's my goal for the day. Maybe pick out some things that I listen for. Maybe you'll hear something that you wouldn't have heard otherwise. Maybe you'll completely disagree with me, and that's fine. Okay, the idea is to listen to a song and see if it's dope or nope. Oh, by the way, I'm going to be drinking a little bit of sake. I went to a Korean place, a place I go to quite often, by the way, down the street. That's still open for takeout, and they gave us a free bottle of sake with the order on the house. Find businesses, local businesses, and be loyal to them, and they'll be loyal to you. It's fantastic. Unfiltered. I've never had this before. It's really good. Anyway, without further ado, let's get into it, huh? Keith Urban, Polaroid. Sometimes I forget who we were. Already, I love the sound of the acoustic guitar. It's very thick. There's not a lot of reverb to it. It's forward, it's in your face, but it's still very natural. Back then, but Saturday night, stealing cold beer and cigarettes at a house we didn't know. Did you notice that little hi-hat? Right? There's been a couple percussion fills, just barely. Let's go back a little bit. Stealing cold beer and cigarettes. It's barely there, but it adds so much. It breaks it up a little bit. At a house we didn't know, wearing our vintage clothes, looking at this photo. Oh, I remember someone saying, smile. Who would have thought? All right, now we're in the pre-chorus. So verse 1, the acoustic was very thick, very in your face, not a lot of processing, not a lot of reverb or delay. But now here in the pre-chorus, Here, listen to the contrast.
Looking at this photo, oh, I remember someone saying smile.
Much more open.
Who would have thought we'd still be smiling?
We have a little bass slide into the back there, and the guitar is much more open. A few more open strings, a little more reverb, and it's spaced out in your headphones.
Now, with
And so it just gives a little contrast between the verse and then a super, I'm assuming, very forward in your face chorus. Let's hear it.
come a long way since we were strangers in the basement at a party we hated, trying to make conversation. The night it was taken, I didn't have a clue that someday I'd be something more than.
The first thing I noticed was the snare. Listen to the snare.
Thought we'd still be smiling.
Sorry, I went back too far. But listen to the second snare of the chorus.
Since we were strangers in the basement at a party.
It's a roll, and it only does that once, I believe. But this is an incredible production trick. And this entire song is a testament to an amazing trick, and that's simplicity. Okay, listen to it again. Listen to just the simplicity of the snare.
We've come a long way since we were strangers in the basement at a party we hated, trying to make.
It's just a subtle little change, and that little difference can make a world of difference. That little change can make a world of difference. It creates just a simple counter rhythm with the snare turn into something more just by adding a roll once.
Make conversation. The night it was taken, I didn't have a clue.
Did it again.
In a Polaroid.
Talking about the voices a little bit on the chorus, very subtle harmonies, but they're really good. They're really tight. Obviously, he's harmonizing with himself.
The night it was taken, I didn't have a clue that
Not
someday
much.
I'd be something more than just a boy in a Polaroid with you.
And way in the back there, something that's really setting the chorus apart from the rest of the song is the electric guitar. We haven't talked about that yet, but it's there, and you can really hear it after the hook when it's just the instrumentation. And listen, there's a couple little you can hear it in the back there doing some really tight little riffs, almost indistinguishable.
Too many times these moments they come and go. How lucky was I that our moment was set in stone.
So now we're into verse 2, and he added 2 changes. And again, I haven't analyzed this before. I'm just listening to it and explaining where my mind's going as I'm listening to this. He's added 2 changes. Number 1, he added a clap every other beat, maybe every 4 beats, and he added a little bit of a transition into the pre-chorus. Here, let's listen to that again.
Too many times these moments they come and go. How lucky was I that our
Right here, here's the
moment was
transition.
set in stone. Even though the colors faded and everybody changes.
Still the very sparse percussion, but just adding a couple more layers than the first time around to keep it interesting, leading you into a second
Holding on to
chorus.
this photo, oh, I remember falling just like that. And now it's kind of
That reverb tail on that clap is super cool.
crazy looking back. We've come a long way since we were strangers in a basement at a party we hated, trying to make conversation. The night it was taken, I didn't have a clue that someday I'd be something more than just a.
Did you hear that? That's the only difference that I can tell on this run through of the second chorus from the first chorus was that background vocal.
Night it was taken, I didn't have a clue that someday I'd be something
it.
more than.
And sometimes that's all you need. Again, simplicity. I've said for a while actually about modern pop music, the best producers can do the most with the least, right? Where that you take just one simple line, one sound, one change here, one change there, but doing it in the perfect way to set that phrase apart from the previous or the next ones, but doing it with just adding one single element, one or two single elements.
Just a boy in a Polaroid with you. Oh, I remember someone saying smile. Who would have thought we'd still be smiling now?
So that was the bridge technically, even though it was just a repeat of the pre-chorus. And I'm actually noticing this is only 2 minutes and 41 seconds. That is incredibly short. Most songs are 3 to 3.5 minutes, sometimes even more like 4.5. This is really short. And I think, I don't know if that's because as a society, our attention span is growing shorter and shorter, and songs are starting to reflect that. But I've been noticing more and more shorter songs under 3 minutes. But that's a huge part of it right there. He just repeated the pre-chorus once as a bridge versus an entirely new section of writing, which would be the bridge. Obviously, we're not talking about the lyrics in this breakdown, but I think that's why the song's so short.
We've come a long way since we were strangers in the basement at a party we hated, trying to make conversation. The night it was taken.
Super cool transition there. And if you noticed, prior to that transition, it was just the hi-hat, which hadn't been anywhere except the chorus until that moment.
I didn't have a clue that someday I'd be something more than just a boy in a Polaroid with you.
Something that in any music that I've made, I've struggled with, and I haven't made very much, granted. It's the vocal production. Keith Urban is an incredible vocalist, obviously, but being able to use the voice as an instrument and as a production tool is really important in modern music. And just listening to these last few seconds here, where it's kind of like instrumental hook, but using the voice as another layer on top and using the voice as a ramp up throughout the song, doing little scats here and there to kind of fill in the gaps and create more interesting lines. It's done really well in this song in particular.
I didn't have a clue that someday I'd be something more than just a boy in a Polaroid with you.
Was it dope? Heck yeah. Yeah, awesome. It's all centered around that acoustic guitar riff, right? From the beginning all the way through the end. And with just a couple subtle changes here and there, right? He's able to, and I don't know who produced the song. I feel like with Keith Urban, more and more he's producing his own stuff because he does almost everything in his home studio now. But whoever it was is able to just add an element here, take an element away there, change something like that snare drum roll, right? Or that vocal line in the second chorus to set it apart from the other sections. And it builds. And I don't think this song needs to be longer. Another reason why it's so short is there's no outro, right? Listen to how abruptly it ends.
I'd be something more than just a boy in a Polaroid with you.
That was just a repeat of the chorus that ended with nothing more. And I feel like the nature of the song, right? The vibe that it's giving off, it really lends itself to a short runtime. It doesn't need to be any longer. If it was, I feel like it would drag and it'd get a little monotonous because it's still built over just a single riff. So that's a really smart decision. Yeah, absolutely dope. There's plenty of other layers I could get into, honestly. And this is why I love to listen to songs over and over again, because I can listen to it for a month and find something new every single time that just... I feel like I'm reading the producer's mind when I listen to a song over and over again. Maybe I'm crazy. Maybe I'm crazy. You be the judge. But that's kind of how I listen to music.